I have a question.
Okay.
How long did it take you to get comfortable with telling your story?
I've always been a very vocal person, but telling my story is something entirely different because, and you mean the story about this, really? Mm-hmm. Because there was already a stigma. 6 foot tall, how can you say a girl is abusing you? What do you mean by that? Be a man. So, and I'm talking about close friends and family, I'm not talking about strangers. And when you also have members of your family who try to warn you not to do it, and you can't tell them, like my dad tried to warn me, I didn't listen. My mom was a bit in between because, so I have 5 siblings, all of them had different opinions. And, but the first time I tried to talk about it was, I visited the United States briefly for a month, October 2016, to help her move from Virginia to Houston. Mm-hmm. And my experience then was a bit, weird. So but by then she had already introduced me to her siblings back home in Nigeria. So when I went back to Nigeria, I was like, hey, this is what Jane did to me, what do you think about it? Because her sister was married. They was like, oh, that's not cool. Because like I said, I already had a very dysfunctional upbringing, so I couldn't tell whether it was normal to be in that kind of relationship. So that was the first time I really spoke about it to her sister and her sister's husband. And the guy told me, boy, run for your life, right? And the sister said something similar. But then they spoke to her. And then she said, don't you ever talk to my family again, in this voice. And now I don't know what it was, but because maybe that was a trigger for me, hearing that from maybe my parents, I kind of froze. So usually, if you yell at me now, I'll just walk away. But that made me stay. So, but that was the first time I spoke about it to anybody. But, I mean, I think saying I shouldn't be vocal about it and trying to make me feel guilty for opening up about things. How can you be talking about a relationship too? Don't talk to my family about it. I was like, okay, can I talk to my friends? If you talk to your friends, it's over. Okay, can I talk to? So I couldn't talk to anybody. I had to start keeping. So that was the first time I did, and I couldn't talk to any other person until when I was going to visit the US. I spoke to one of my friends who she had met because she visited for a week. And I said, I'm not comfortable because we went to visit my friend and his wife as well. And he said, just go ahead. When my wife and I were dating, my aunt said she's not ready for marriage. But I stuck my guns because I'm a man. Now I'm married. Now when you hear such things, but I spoke up about it twice. And after that, I think every single attempt to talk to people became stressful because every time I talked to people, they wanted me to start over to tell the story. And it was frustrating. And even when I met with the EAP and I started talking to different professionals on the phone, you had to repeat yourself every single time. But when I now started meeting Dr. Suzy, it was different because she documented everything. I didn't have to repeat myself. But the first time I ever spoke up about it was when I went back to Nigeria, when I visited it for a month.